And now a man who's probably going to struggle to include the words tree and air conditioning in his presentation to us, Mark Bickerstaffe, new Director of New Product Development for Kohler. Thank you very much.
So I like a challenge, so tree and air conditioning. There you are, ticked. Okay, it's a pleasure to be talking to you and to see so many of you here. As Larry said at the beginning, you know, we're really keen to hear your voice and allow that to influence what we do. You know, what's possible within the context. I think that's a great way of describing what I'm hoping to show you a bit about today with Kohler. You know, I'm here representing a business of 30,000 people worldwide. And I'd like to not just say, look at these things that we do and the products, but give you a bit of the background and the understanding of what we do behind that. And I think this sort of captures the way we think about sustainability in our business going forwards. And those, everything's disappeared on the screen. Oh, there it is, okay. And I'm going to let a few other people do some talking rather than you listen to me all the time. It's a tree.
Hello, I'm David Kohler, Executive Vice President of Kohler Company. Business success doesn't matter much if we can't say we left the world a better place than we found it. Water conservation is undoubtedly one of the most important issues facing us all today. Kohler Company is a global design and technology leader, and through 135 years, we've remained true to our founding vision of staying on the leading edge of ideas, craftsmanship, and technology. Our company strives to reach new levels of excellence in each industry and market segment we serve, and to fulfill our mission of improving the level of gracious living for each person touched by our products and services. But we need to make sure that gracious living is relevant for generations to come. We as a company want communities to be greener, healthier, and more productive because of our products and services. It's the expectation that we have of ourselves, and increasingly, it's the expectation that others have of us as well. By simply placing an aerator in your bathroom or kitchen faucet, you can significantly reduce the amount of water you use while shaving, washing your hands, or brushing your teeth. By replacing your old shower head with a low flow model, one that doesn't compromise performance, you can also significantly reduce your daily water use and the energy it takes to heat that water, simply because you're using less. More than 25% of your daily water use is literally flushed down the toilet. It's the single largest water-consuming fixture or appliance in your home. And installing a high-efficiency toilet is a great way to save water. At Kohler Company, we're proud to partner with forward-thinking organizations, and we congratulate all those who take risks to make a difference in the world we live in. Working toward a more sustainable future is no easy task, but it's the right thing to do for our sake and our children's sake.
So I think that sort of sets the context and the tone, perhaps it's a slightly obvious side of sustainability in a business like ours, where, of course, everything we do, most of what we do is around water. And I think there's some hard truths behind this that we're dealing with and wrestling with, that is, in reality, consumers don't really care that much. You know, it's not something that people will pay more for. So when we look out at this, there's a large element. We talked a little about social sustainability. There's a large piece here about we feel it's our responsibility, it's part of our duty as a major kitchen and bathroom company to contribute because it's the right thing to do. And if you put that in the context, you know, the reality is middle classes, there's going to be 3 billion more people by 2020. So if we think there's a sustainability issue now, imagine the future. And that inspires us. You know, there's a recent quote, it's an Apple quote, which is, okay, nice. But really it's about taking action. And not being put off by what seem like insurmountable obstacles. And that's not something new to us. If we look at the foundation of our business, we talk a lot about innovation, and we started, making stuff for agriculture that we turned into bathtubs. And we started talking about sustainability in different words way back in our history. And that's why you see it today. We don't like to talk about sort of corporate social responsibility, because that's not the way we frame our business. It's a trendy way of saying we know we need to care. We have deep strategy which drives our business, and if you go through those, okay, we have people, we have leading design and technology, we have service, we have channels. Then our fifth plank, so we only have 5, is stewardship and sustainability, and asking everyone in our business, so 30,000 people, to live by this, to be putting this close to their core in terms of what we do and the things we stand for. And that goes to setting serious goals, net zero carbon by 2035, and then really driving that into everything we do about product and service and the way we live and operate our business. All lots of nice words, but it's something we live by in Kohler. And a great example is, if you look at toilets, just look at the way the toilet has changed over the last few years in terms of its contribution simply to reduction in water consumption. And 25% of your water usage is through the toilet alone, so we're continuing to drive that forward. And if you see that going down, where we're getting to now is a point where, with the conventional plumbing systems and the traditional sewerage systems you have under the roads and throughout the cities, we can't go any lower, simply because the sewage systems don't support it. So we're at this sort of critical point of something else has got to change. It can't just be about making the toilet better. And yes, our product ranges extend, so everything we look at, we are saving water, making efficiency savings, directly reducing the consumption in the products that we have across every category. And a good example is the technology that's then included is within our shower heads. One thing we talk about a lot is the reality consumers aren't prepared to compromise for sustainability. And that's something we consistently get back as a problem and an issue. And this is just showing you a technology that addresses that by saying, how do we create the experience but save water at the same time? So this is showing you air induction, which introduces air into each droplet, makes them feel warmer, makes them bigger, without affecting the experience you have on your body. And then the second thing it shows you is about what we call racetrack technology, and that is literally about giving you even distribution of the water no matter what the pressure is behind it. And that makes a big difference to your experience. And that's at the end of the day what you're really paying for, is a fabulous bathroom experience. And that simple technological change and investing in the research and development, the science behind it, gives you this significant savings. And it's things like that that mean that Kohler are getting recognized and is continuing to get recognized by professional bodies as being a very respectable partner in water saving and sustainability. This is the EPA, so it's a US-based award. But this whole approach is something that it has to be more than that if it's going to make a continued and a lasting difference. As I say, toilets are reaching the end of the point in time where we can save more water. So where do we go next? And the reality is then you have to go right back to designing fundamentally for the environment and putting that at the heart of everything you do. And instead of treating a product as just directly solving a need, thinking about its whole life cycle out in the market, out in your properties, and how you address making that more sustainable long term. And if you start to think like that, you start to design differently, because you start to prioritize differently. And this is the reality of the job I do. We have a huge responsibility. We can make a huge difference by changing the way we choose to work. In a sense, by working smarter. And here's a great example of taking an approach that was all based on context and saying, okay, in hospitality, you need products that do a number of things. When we talk to you, you say you need products that are versatile, that allow you to design the bathroom the way you want to do it, allow you the maximum amount of freedom to innovate and create. And when we then probe for, well, what else matters, you come back and say things like, well, the operators want them to be easy to clean. We want to reduce cleaning time. We want to know it's hygienic. So this range was designed to do exactly that. It's a range called Modern Life. It's launching this year. And its real focus was easy clean. But when we looked at the environmental side of that, we realized something really important. Of course, if you make something easy to clean, you reduce the amount of materials, the amount of water, the amount of chemicals that are actually involved in the cleaning process. And if you really sweat the details on that, and there's some real detail in this, things like a toilet seat, sounds really basic and simple. Welcome to my world of designing toilet seats. The reality is you find there's enormous areas for saving, enormous areas for improvement. And to the extent that by working our way through this, working through every detail, working on everything around how to make this better, you actually end up with a product that can make a massive difference. So we can make it, okay, 17% faster to clean. Underneath that is it's 3 times cleaner. When you actually measure how many germs are left on the toilet, it's 3 times cleaner. And that's because you've designed it to be easy to clean by a human being doing their normal job. But the environmental benefit, the sustainability benefit, is much, much larger. Because you've reduced the cleaning time, you reduce the amount of chemicals, you save 50% of the long-term life cycle impact. That's a massive saving, just by addressing the detail about how you clean a toilet. So this is an example of really sweating that detail and the attention that we pay to the design of the products and where they're going and how they contribute long-term. But if that's the sort of direct and a very addressing a specific need, I talked a little bit about social sustainability and where we see our role long-term in contributing to our impact on the planet and our long-term position. And this is your project, Bill. So fundamentally, we think we have a responsibility. If we can't save any more water with toilets and we're addressing emerging communities where water and sewage systems may not exist, what do you do? What should we do as a big business? And so looking at that, we partnered with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in the Reinvent the Toilet Challenge. And the partners we work with are Caltech. And by working with Caltech, what we've created is this closed-loop advanced sanitation system. So another lovely acronym. We love acronyms in Kohler. But what it does is basically this unit here, and this is one of the first ones. We've just installed another one in a multi-residential unit in India. It's a closed-loop system. It's totally self-powered. It's closed-loop in terms of water consumption, and the product that you get out of it can then be totally recycled, and you use as compost, and you use also as a detergent agent. So this is Kohler saying, we know this isn't about business and it isn't about actually making a massive profit. This is about understanding how we can partner with the right people and make a difference long term. And there's some other harsh realities about where we are and how we can address our impact. And this is, hard fact. We're a manufacturer. We make product all around the world. Big products all over for the bathroom, for the kitchen. And the realities are that, there's a lot of waste in that process. And if you don't address that waste, then what do you do with it? The reality is that's all going into landfill. It's all becoming scrap. It's inefficient. And so we started this program called Innovation for Good, a waste lab. And this isn't a pretty mood board of nice grey tones and pastel colours and things. This is piles and piles, tons and tons of our rubbish. The stuff we output when we make baths, we make toilets out of ceramic and cast iron. And by really diving into that and really getting behind what actually is in that, you start to realize there's some actually quite valuable stuff in it. And if you think hard enough, if you really start to dive into what the future factory, what a future manufacturing situation might be, you can come up with some different answers. And when you apply that magic little elixir, which is creativity, putting creative minds, not necessarily technical minds, but creative minds around what can you do with these materials, you start making some things that are clearly not waste. So we're starting to be able to look at things that turn waste into value. And we're still working on this, as this is an area where we can continue to drive the efficiency, the overall sustainability of everything we do, and balance the way we as a business operate long term. And so we're just starting this journey and just starting to specify these products out to projects where we're making our waste and actually translating it back into value. You might have seen this project outside. This is another aspect of us thinking about how we and our potential, our capability can benefit social sustainability and communities around the world long term. Reality of drinking water, and again, this is another Bill project, and access to drinking water is a frightening statistic. Anything you can do to provide safe drinking water worldwide is a massive benefit. And so we set out to actually go and design something that would benefit that need. And I think there's a video that I can play here. Put the sound up.
For over 142 years, Kohler has been very active in WASH, water, sanitation, and hygiene. And now we're using our capabilities to really help the people in this world that need it most.
Our associates are coming together and applying our knowledge, our energies, and our passion to actually take the capability we have and apply it to the greater good.
Kohler Clarity is a beautiful yet affordable water filter that provides safe water for an entire family.
Water itself is so shockingly important to everyone. Getting something as simple and luxurious as a clean glass of water, I mean, how important is that?
What excites me about this project is the big picture.
The group of associates at Kohler came together and decided to solve a global problem.
We're figuring out what does the world need us to do and how can Kohler link into that problem.
Kohler Clarity is a global product. It was designed in UK and it was engineered in India. It will be produced in America.
You're dealing with a project that is absolutely trans-global, and you have to make sure everyone can understand it. Keep the colors as simple as possible so that they are universally accepted and don't mean something different to a certain culture.
We created a 6-sided box that allowed us to fit 9 as opposed to 6 per layer and make sure that they can bring more product to the consumer.
Living in India was a very good insight into this. We all had very first-hand experiences on drinking unsafe water or eating unsafe food. And it's not always the food that is unsafe, it's the water that is used to wash the food anyway. It's quite close to my heart,
If I give my child clean water, he will go to school every day and become a good man and success in future.
It's important to me as a citizen of this planet that we ensure that we have clean, drinkable water.
To have that sense of security and confidence that the water you're giving to your family is drinkable, safe.
People are going to be able to focus on building better lives instead of worrying about finding clean water or instead of being sick.
We're passionate as a company of not only attacking tough problems, we're passionate about leaving the world a better place.
No problem. So you can see a sample of this outside, so do have a look at it. We can talk to you about it in detail. There's another benefit to this, so that we thought about as we were working on it. We weren't quite sure what the benefit would be, but when you really analyze the impact of this and the way it's dealing with a problem, the reality is this is regenerative, it's positive, because you're replacing what is typically a wood-fired stove, boiling water, with something where you simply pour water in. And if you analyze the total life cycle benefit of that, it's actually positive. And that opens the door, opens that window to saying, actually, can we truly design systems, processes, products that improve the situation rather than just making it slightly less worse? And that sort of thought, here's a Mark Twain quote, which really is about, you've got to start breaking things down into little bite-sized chunks. Don't be put off by the magnitude of the problem. We're making a difference. These are we're a big corporate business and we're a lot of people and we have to keep ourselves pointed in the right direction. And we're making a difference. All these indicators are going the right way. And we're absolutely committed to that continuing. You know, we believe fundamentally in creating a sustainable environment, a sustainable place that we can continue to drive change. This is the Choate Center. It's a residential high school education facility totally dedicated to sustainability in the US. And that's a Kohler owned, funded property. And the reality is where we are is this. Yes, we have all of our measures. Yes, we have all of the ways that we try to run a good business. But actually what Kohler is about is having a culture that addresses the right things and tries to do the right things to make things better. Thanks very much.